The NFL draft is quickly approaching, and because of that, it is time for me to update my mock draft. While I believe that many of the picks will remain the same, there will certainly be some changes as well. Here is my updated 2024 NFL mock draft. The first 10 picks. The Chicago Bears have the first and most obvious pick. Assuming they don't trade the pick, which is highly unlikely, they will almost certainly select Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams from USC. The Trojans quarterback had 41 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and threw for 3,633 yards last season. Williams will be surrounded by players like DJ Moore and Keenan Allen in his first season. In fact, the Bears are in an unusually good situation to win. Usually the team picking first in the draft is not very good, and is more than one or two players away from success. However, the Bears with Williams can compete immediately. The draft starts to get interesting with the second pick. Although Daniels has the better numbers, with 50 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 3,812 yards, compared to 33 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and 3,608 yards from May, many still argue that May's potential is greater than the Heisman Trophy winner Daniels. They argue that because he played less years in college, he could still develop into an elite quarterback, even better than Daniels, especially in an NFL organization with NFL coaching. However, Dan Quinn and the Commanders can win now, and I think Washington will look for the more experienced, successful quarterback at this point in their careers. With that said, I think the Commanders draft Daniels to work with their new offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury. The Patriots also have several options here, but New England seems increasingly more likely to draft a quarterback instead of trading the pick or drafting a wide receiver. With Mac Jones now in Jacksonville, it makes sense they would like to find their quarterback of the future in the draft, which has several great quarterbacks available. If they were going to draft a wide receiver here, I don't think they would have traded Jones, or avoided signing players like Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins. Trading the pick wouldn't make sense either, because it is such a talented draft class. I think the Patriots draft Drake May with the third pick. I have not changed anything yet, and I will not do it here. The Cardinals have Kyler Murray, who missed most of last season, but now looks to come back better than ever. One way for Arizona to help him is to give Murray another person to throw the ball to. I think the Cardinals do that here by drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. The Ohio State wide receiver had 67 receptions for 15 touchdowns and 1,211 yards. I would not be surprised if he was drafted earlier, but I think the first 3 picks will be quarterbacks, and the fourth will be Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals. With the 5th pick, I still will not change anything, and that includes the trade. I think it makes too much sense for the Chargers and Vikings to make this deal happen. The Chargers need to get more players to build around quarterback Justin Herbert, and the Vikings need a quarterback. I think Minnesota decides to trade the 11th and 23rd picks for the 5th pick. Then they draft J.J. McCarthy, who had 25 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 2,991 yards passing, and just won the national championship at Michigan. This is finally where things begin to change. With the 6th pick, the Giants will more than likely pick a wide receiver, especially if some of the draft's best quarterbacks are not available, which is true in this mock draft. In my previous mock draft, I had the Giants selecting Rome Odunze, but I am changing the pick to Malik Nabers. Odunze is a great player, with slightly better numbers: 92 receptions, 15 touchdowns, and 1,640 yards, compared to 89 receptions, 14 touchdowns, and 1,569 yards from Nabers. But I think Nabers' potential is higher than Odunze. He proved this by helping Daniels win the Heisman, and I think he continues to improve with the Giants. Another change here, this time in Tennessee with the Titans. It would be very surprising if the Titans decided not to draft an offensive lineman in this draft, especially after trading for wide receiver Calvin Ridley. The only question is which one. In my previous mock draft, I thought the Titans would draft Olu Fashanu from Penn State. Even though I think Tennessee could draft either one, I now believe the best offensive lineman in this draft class is Joe Alt from Notre Dame. I predict the Titans will agree with me and draft Alt with the 7th pick. Atlanta made improvements to their offense in the offseason, Kirk Cousins for example, so it would make sense for them to add to their defense. I predict Raheem Morris, former Rams defensive coordinator and now the Falcons head coach, drafts Dallas Turner from Alabama. They could very easily decide to draft Jared Verse from Florida State, who I had getting drafted here in my previous mock draft, but now I think they will pick Turner. The Bears' trade for Keenan Allen made me think they would avoid adding a wide receiver and instead focus on drafting defense. However, the Bears know that the best way to help Caleb Williams is to give him people to throw to. They also know Allen might not be in Chicago for more than a couple of seasons. Because of this, I think the Bears draft Rome Odunze, giving the Bears a wide receiver for the future, and providing Williams with not only DJ Moore and Keenan Allen to throw to, but Rome Odunze as well. And what could be Aaron Rodgers' last season with the Jets, the team will likely focus on offense. In this case, the Jets need to protect Rodgers better this year, and they can do that by drafting offensive linemen. While they could draft a wide receiver here, I don't believe they will. I mentioned Olu Fashanu earlier, and I think he gets drafted here. That is my second 2024 NFL mock draft. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.